Hey guys, Victoria here with Take the Lead Canine Training, and this is another installment of Foster Dog Friday. Foster Dog Friday is a video series aimed to help adopters, fosters, dog owners, and the like with general dog behavior issues. The reality is the majority of dogs who are in shelters, in rescues, or are returned to shelters and rescues after adoption have behavioral issues, whether it's leash reactivity, resource guarding, separation anxiety, dog aggression, issues with strangers, or in general, just being a hyper dog that pulls on a leash and jumps and doesn't listen. All of these things can be improved with some training. So our goal is with this series to help give information to owners so they can make better choices when it comes to working with their dog and know how to introduce a dog into their life and be the best leader that they can for them. So what we're going to talk about today is separation anxiety, which is a really common issue for a lot of dogs. It can display itself in destruction of the house, soiling in the house, barking and howling when the owner leaves, breaking out of kennels, like breaking through windows. It happens. It's obvious distress when you leave and your dog is home alone, or can be distress when you close the bathroom door and your dog has a cow. But I suspect if your dog is having a cow because you've closed the bathroom door, they're probably having a cow when you leave too. So when we talk about separation anxiety, it's good to think about it in a way that it's an addiction to attention and addiction to the owner. It helps you kind of get an idea that it's not just the fact of you leaving, it's the fact of the dog needing you so close all the time. When we get a new dog, it's very easy to develop separation anxiety or encourage separation anxiety in a dog without meaning to, through certain interactions that we have with them and the way that we are constantly touching them, playing with them, coddling them, and keeping them close. And when it comes to dogs in foster and dogs in rescue situations and shelter situations, a lot of times that comes because we feel bad that they were homeless, or we feel bad at the situation that they were in, and so we are trying to give them a lot of love. The problem with that kind of love is that it can feed into that addiction to us, an addiction and dependency on us, and lead a dog that has a hard time being alone, has a hard time with you going to work, or going out to dinner with your family, or sleeping in their kennel in the living room while you sleep and your kids sleep in their bedrooms. So the first thing to do when you talk about helping with separation anxiety is working on crate training. A lot of separation anxiety cases are pretty poorly behaved in the crate. So here are some tips that can help improve your crate status with your dog. First thing we say is let's create some positive experiences with the crate and feed all our meals inside the kennel. When we feed all of our meals inside the kennel, that helps make sure that we're creating positive association, and it creates a desire to want to go into the cage because that's where we eat. In addition to eating all their meals in the kennel, let's work on sleeping in the kennel. Again, when we talk about dependency and intimacy and things that get our dog a little too attached, sleeping in bed with us is one of those very intimate times. And so a good place for a dog with separation anxiety to actually sleep is in their kennel. I know, again, it's not what we wanted when we wanted to rescue a dog from the shelter and take him out of the hard knock life of all of that, but it's important because we want to help create a healthy distance from us so we don't end up with a dog who's addicted to us. So sleeping in the kennel is a goal to work towards, as well as being in the kennel when we're not home. Dogs who destroy the house, potty in the house, and overall just have a meltdown generally are destroying property in the house through those kinds of actions, and that's, again, separation anxiety. So crating when you're not home protects your property and it protects your dog. But we don't want the crate to only mean mom is leaving or dad is leaving or the family's leaving them all alone. We want the crate to be a positive place for your dog to go. So that means you need to have some downtime in the crate during the day. Whether that is after they eat, they chill out for 45 minutes before you let them back out. Whether it's the middle of the day and you put the babies down for a nap, let's put the dog in for a nap. It's important for our dogs to learn how to live in the crate behind bars with activity in the house. So one, it doesn't mean that we're always leaving, but also it helps create an easy opportunity for you to put the dog away if you need to and invite people over, have a handyman come in, have someone come and go from the house, and not have to worry about your dog having a cow. I can't tell you how many times people say my dog's crate trained, but then you actually ask them to go in the crate when the family's home, and then he has a meltdown. Why? Because he's not used to being separated when people are home. So let's work on creating that understanding that the crate is just a spot to go and relax, whether you're home, whether you're gone. Another thing to remember, don't make a big show of coming and going. If you make a big celebration about coming home and a big to-do about you leaving and I'll be back and I'm so sorry I'm leaving you, it creates a lot of emotion about you entering and exiting the house, which again feeds that anxiety. We want to be just calm and neutral. put the dog up about 15 to 20 minutes before you leave, quietly come home. 15 to 20 minutes after he calms down, or after you get home, hopefully he's calmed down in that 15 to 20 minutes, then he can come out. And then we want to work on interrupting the anxiety cycle. So that's the last step. It's an important step though, because usually in the crate, if your dog's got separation anxiety, it's barking or clawing or pawing at the door. We need to do some sort of interrupter, whether it's a loud noise, whether it's a remote collar, whether it's a bark collar, something to interrupt it. That you may need help with a trainer on creating that interruption. But a lot of the earlier steps make a huge difference, and you may not even have to worry about the interrupting. So that's the last part. Once we're out of the crate, again, be aware of how you share affection with your dog. If you are sharing super cuddly, canoodly, sleeping in bed, sitting on the couch, touchy, constantly touchy affection with your dog, you can have a dog who displays separation anxiety because they're far from you. They are used to touching you and following you every little step of the house. We want to create a dog who can be independent. So we want to share affection in healthy ways. And healthy ways to share affection with a dog who is displaying separation anxiety is through exercise, like walks, structured walks, jogs, bike rides, whatever you'd like to do, playing fetch through structured play, ways to release exercise in a positive way, but it's not out of control. Playing with other dogs is another good way too if your dog is friendly. And through training. Use a lot of training, whether it's obedience drills, whether it's tricks. Just do something with the dog that tires their mind out and interacts with them. I encourage training though, because we want to use the place command as one of our ways to bridge the gap between being in our crate and being separated, and being with us and still being slightly separated. Having a spot where your dog can go when they are out with you, that isn't always underneath your legs or sitting in your lap or on the couch with you, but on their own spot, places a bed or a rug or a cot. That is their dog spot that you send them to, and they practice impulse control and stay there. That's really important. The place command is huge because it teaches your dog how to be included without always having to be involved. That structure of place and the routine of crating when you're gone, crating at night, crating some throughout the day, feeding in the crate, and creating this routine that is consistent allows us to have a dog who can predict what's going to happen and can settle down because they know step by step how things work. Routine and structure is so important with our separation anxiety cases. And when you teach your dog, come out of the crate, we'll go for a walk, you'll come back in, you'll get some water, you'll eat in the crate, you'll rest for a little bit, then we'll bring you out, then we'll go back in the backyard, let you use the bathroom, let you play, then you'll come over and you'll do some place, and then, hey, I gotta run some errands, so you go back in the crate. You create this routine of in and out of the crate through the day and structure of what you do in between those times, and you get a dog who finds life predictable. Whether we like it or not, the shelter is a place of routine, as stressful as it is. They know when they're gonna eat, they know when the lights go on, they know when the lights go out. Routine dogs strive with, and we want to create a routine that helps promote healthy relationship between us and our dog, so we can help stop this addiction to attention and help our dog become independent and be able to be included without always having to be involved. All right, guys, thanks so much. Stay tuned for some more with Foster Dog Friday. Bye.